Good evening, Kiker Comet parents and families and caregivers. Welcome. We're so glad you could be here tonight. For pre-K and PPCD parents, they're probably still in the classroom, but they'll be joining us shortly. And for those parents, tonight is the beginning of their journey toward graduation night in 2030. So I would like to introduce a couple people. I've got Lisa Ward and Catherine Bankston. Lisa is one of our assistant principals. Catherine is one of our counselors. I've got Miss Randy Frazier, counselor. And not more important than the rest of us, but way more important than the rest of us, Miss Whitney Myers, our PTA president. And all I can say about that is we really, truly believe in being together in unity and supporting each other. And so if you can join PTA or find something that you are interested in, that would be wonderful. And they have a table right outside. Whitney, is there anything you want to say?
That's good.
Join PTA?
Yep.
I said it?
Yes.
Okay. And know that you can always go to any of these people if I'm not available. I will just take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Lori Schneider. I am entering my 26th year in education, and I've loved every minute of working together on behalf of children. And I am very honored that you all supported me toward and in eventually earning the distinction of AISD's Principal of the Year. Thank you. Thank you. It just makes me want to work that much harder for you, so thank you. Just to tell you a little bit about Kiker, we are a student-focused, student-committed school, and we believe that we have created a place where we focus on the whole child. We work really hard to strive to prepare our students to be leaders of leaders, to be front runners in tomorrow's world. And one of the things that we do, because we believe so much, every decision we make is on behalf of students. We start here together every single morning in morning assembly. We start school 10 minutes early just to have those 10 extra minutes with your children. And and you're welcome. We want you to come. We want you to hear that, be part of that. We want you to come and stand at the far end of the gymnasium wall so that you can hear those discussions and be part of that. And just know that some of the things we talk about learning, and that's what school is for, that we don't expect you to come to school and know all the answers. We talk about how we treat others. We talk about goal setting, character traits such as integrity and respect. We also have celebrations, and we celebrate birthdays. We even focus on fitness. On Tuesdays, you may some of us see some of us a little dressed down because we have Touch Your Toes Tuesday, in which all of the students and teachers engage in exercise events. Okay, so my Kiker comments tell me, how do we treat others? With?
Kindness, dignity, and respect.
Oh, all right, that's it. We treat others with kindness, dignity, and respect. And the children, for short, call it KDR. So if you ever hear them talking about KDR, that's what that is. So in other words, you will be surprised when students start coming home and taking their dish to the sink, cleaning up their bedroom, making their bed, getting dressed without being asked, brushing their teeth, doing things that you just right now won't even believe are possible. But it's true, and last year I received about 50 emails from parents letting me know about the KDR that was going on at home without the parents asking them ahead of time. We talk about character traits such as integrity and respect. We talk about goal setting, and we celebrate birthdays. We've already talked about how to handle situations when someone might be trying to get your attention and you should be using your active listening skills and focused on someone else. We've taught them about nonverbal communication, where you can simply show a sign and point at the teacher, or you can swivel your body, just turn away. We have also taught them about active listening. That doesn't mean just looking at your teacher or your parents. It means processing what's being said. Now, that's a big word, but believe it or not, our kindergarten students know what it means. So our kindergartners and our first graders start learning early on that active listening means, number one, looking at the speaker, okay? That's an easy one. We also talk about how sometimes we start thinking about what we want to do that night. That's not active listening. Sometimes we think about the birthday party that's coming up. That's not active listening. And so we use this big word that starts with a P. Any adults ever heard me say it? What do I say? I hear you say it. We're processing. So our young children know early on active listening means looking and then processing, training our brain to think about what's being said by the speaker, the teacher, the other students, the principal, your parents, or caregivers. We've talked about expected behaviors. What's expected and what's not expected? Believe it or not, we had the old-fashioned talk about saying yes, ma'am, and no, sir. We've taught them about managing their impulsivity. We've had a long conversation about that one and how we all want to do different things at times when they may not be that appropriate, and how to handle that, and that's what we expect. We use the words expected behavior. What's expected? What's not expected? You will know that we teach our students to have their backpacks ready the night before. We teach them that it is their job, not yours. We teach them to get 10 hours of sleep, train their brain to ignore distractions, and to involve others in their play. Now, these assemblies are how we start our day, like a family. And for me, it's one of the highlights of my day. And so we also publish in our Kiker comments, our newsletter, every Friday, the topics that we talked about as retold from a particular classroom. In this way, you can talk about what we talked about at morning assembly in your dinner time discussions. Please don't wait outside a classroom while morning assembly is occurring. There is no one in those locations to supervise, and it is an unsafe place. We welcome parents. We want you to stay and join. As I look out, I see several of you that are here with me every morning. You are always welcome. We always want you to be here. Parents, please refrain from escorting your child to class. We are a very large school. We are, as of today, at about 1,036 students, and that doesn't count our peer volunteers. And adults that are not staff members or students can cause a blockage in hallways. So now let me tell you a little bit about what we believe. We believe, and we teach the children, and we try to teach you so that you'll use the same language, that we all have strengths. Every single one of us has strengths and talents. Do you know, I visited with a family that was new to Kiker, and the child was in 3rd grade, and no one had talked to them about their child's strengths. And to me, that's a crime. To me, in kindergarten, our children should come home and talk to you about what their strengths are, because that's where we start. I don't know about you guys, but if I poll, I could ask you, what do you do for a living? Say it again.
Financial advisor.
Financial advisor. What do you do for a living?
Software engineer.
Software engineer. I don't know anything about that or that, but you know what I do know about? Children. And you know what that is? It's my strength. Now, you're a financial advisor. I bet you don't know anything about money. I bet it's a big struggle for you. Is it a struggle for you? No, it's a strength. Software engineer, strength or struggle?
I wish it was strength. I want to believe.
Catch my drift? What do we go into when we become adults? Anybody? What's our job? What are we headed toward? Something we're good at or something we're really, really bad at? Anybody? So, does it make sense to focus constantly on struggles? I mean, yes, we want to focus on them and we want to give them the tools, but it's important they know that every single student has worth. Every single student has strengths, has talents, has something to offer. Now, we do talk about struggles, and we talk about the fact that we all have struggles. All of us. We all have weaknesses. We all have learning needs. So every day, we all strive to reach new academic, physical, social, emotional, and behavioral goals. And none of them are better or worse than the other. So your child might struggle with reading, and you know what? We're going to provide support for that. And your child might struggle with raising their hand, and you know what? We're going to work on that. And your child over there might struggle with making loud noises as screaming in morning assembly or in class, and you know what? We're going to work on that. I'm going to tell you that we all have strengths. We all have struggles. Some are out there for the world to see. They're public, and we know what they are. And some are private and hidden, but they're there. Now, I want to tell you about our ADHD, our autistic, our students with anxiety or emotional disturbances. They don't have anything growing out of the left side of their head, and they're not sitting in a wheelchair. So you may not think that anything is wrong with them, and you might expect that they should be able to pay attention, follow the rules, listen carefully, don't disturb others, and I could go on. But you know what? Sometimes they can't. Sometimes they struggle. And you know what? When my ADHD students come in and they see me and they come talk to me in the office, and I say, let me guess. It's not that you can't pay attention. It's that you pay attention to everything. And they go, yes! And I say, you know what? Guess what? You're going to grow up and get to be a principal or a CEO, because in one of those jobs, you have to pay attention to everything. And so we got them right there. So we talk about that, and we normalize the fact that if you need help with reading, we're going to help you with reading. If you need help with raising your hand, we're going to help you with that. If you need help with behavior, we're going to help you with that. We believe that we're all different, and we embrace those differences, and we talk about those differences. We say, look around. You don't look the same. We talk about families are different. We talk about foods that you eat, in the cultures, in the countries that we come from, in the ways that we have learning needs and goals. We are all different, and that all of those differences deserve our respect. And we talk about how differences add richness to each other's lives. Let's talk about this. Please do not expect all A's and perfect behavior. We expect our students to come to school, make mistakes, fail some more, make more mistakes. And here's the thing, guys. Don't blame it on the teachers. And when I call, don't say, oh, my child would never. Because I'm here to tell you, they would, they will. I've seen them do it. Have you seen it? They would. They will. It happens. They're kids. That's why we have school. So know that our kids are going to make mistakes, and your job is to let them own it. We own it, we take care of our behavior, and then we change our behavior. In fact, One of the things I have already shared with my superintendent is to be ready because I want to do away with grades. Research shows the best way to move students is through comments, is through guidance, is through having conversations with them. Don't worry, you're going to get a report card. But I promise you this, there is no way to duplicate, replicate what goes on in one day. And your child, it is very strongly possible that they will not, I'm going to warn you now, follow every rule, every procedure, every direction, every expectation, every guideline, I could go on and on and on in one day. That's why we got rid of everybody being on green or everybody being on, somebody being on red, because it's a misconception. There's no way. I mean, even if a student is on green all day, it's a trick because there's no way they were perfect. Are you perfect all day long? And you're adults. We really strongly believe that intelligence is not fixed. We believe in a growth mindset. Look it up because I'm running out of time. We expect them to struggle. That's how they learn. Practice creates habit. Effort creates ability. Malcolm Gladwell says that what distinguishes good from great is not always simply talent, but hard work. So know that we teach our children that. And if we believe that, we won't be able to report to you every single day because it will be impossible. Do we report on reading? And what part of reading? Because there's 5 components of reading. Do we report that every day? Or the behavior every day? Or do we report how they were with self-management or social awareness or decision making? So know that emailing the teacher and asking how did they do, getting an answer that says fine, that might be the best you get until you have a one-on-one conversation. And now let's talk about how Kiker we obviously have an outstanding academic program because we were the highest scoring school in AISD. We were the highest scoring elementary school in AISD out of 138 schools, right, Yasmin? 138 elementary? 84 elementary schools, we'll take that. Highest in reading, highest in math, tied for second in writing. We got our school board member in the audience. How we doing? All right. The bottom line is we want our students to leave knowing they are worthy, they can achieve, they can make mistakes, and it's a normal part of day-to-day life. That they know what their likes, dislikes, strengths, beliefs, talents, areas requiring support and development are. And we want them to leave and know how to what to say in uncomfortable situations. Please check out our new website at www.kikerelementary.org. Please follow me on Twitter at Kiker Comments. Many times I tweet out pictures of things that are happening in the school. Read our parent-teacher handbook. It's posted online. You'll learn our philosophy, mission, vision, belief statements, and then the next part I've written for children. So it'll help you with that. In closing, follow me on Twitter at Kiker Comments. You might get pictures. You might never know when your child will be featured. In closing, thank you for coming in and sharing with me your time. I am so excited to be a part of helping your students grow academically, socially, emotionally, and behaviorally. I will always try to be open and honest as I can about what's happening. However, as you can imagine, there are hundreds of decisions a day that I make, and there's no way I can explain every single decision to you. So if you ever find that I make a mistake, make a decision and you don't understand it, feel free to give me a call and let me know. I'm going to go ahead and apologize now because I know I'm going to make a mistake. So I hope you accept that. But if it's a biggie and we need to talk, give me a call. And please remember this. Teachers make mistakes and try to remember that they're human. Please keep your concerns in the adult world. And please remember that little children with their little ears and their little eyes see it all. So remember to keep adult concerns in the adult world. And if you're a little frustrated, which you might get at some point, keep it out of the earshot. I am going to ask you to consider refraining from blogging about, Facebooking about teachers by name and issues you have. For the one person that doesn't like a teacher, there are 10 more that do. I've been here 14 years. I'm here to tell you, there is no teacher here that doesn't belong in a school. I'm proud to say that. Okay? That's really all I need to say about that, right? Okay. So know that teachers make mistakes, and let's not Facebook about them. Please don't wait to the end of the year to write your comments on a survey if they're negative. Come talk to one of us. We want to know. We want to be better. We try to be better every year, and we do take into consideration your information. Let's brag about our teachers on Facebook. Anybody with me out there? Brag about Kiker. Brag about your principal. No, I'm just kidding. Lastly, when we make mistakes, try to remember we're human. Talk to us and forgive us. Please keep adult concerns in the adult world. And remember this, and then I'll let you go. Remember this. If you don't believe every story from school, we won't believe every story they tell us about you. Have a good evening.